Monica turns and starts walking away, her sobs barely concealed. My heart sinks. I can't just forget about her just like that. After what we've been through? Not a chance in the world. Monica, wait up! I manage to catch up with her. She turns to look back at me. Her expression is teary and blank. Her arms lay limp at her side. We stand apart for a moment before I sheepishly approach her and place my trembling hands upon her shoulders. I gaze longingly into her damp yet still beautiful eyes, trying my hardest to keep myself together. There's no way I could ever forget you. Never in a million years. My fingers gently cascade down her arms until I'm gently squeezing her hands in my own. I love you, Monica. I still do. Monica sighs as she locks her fingers with mine.
Hallie, I love you too. But you need to let me go. Besides, all I ever did was put you under immense stress. I dragged you along for the ride. I was selfish. I hurt...
Monica, please just listen to me. My voice is shuddery and barely above a whisper, but Monica is seemingly able to hear me. She falls silent, her eyes still shut. Is it true that after I found out about your dad, I got worried? Or no, it is true that after I found out about your dad, I got worried. Some nights I did lose sleep because I was scared about what may or may not have been happening to you. But I promised that I'd never give up on you, and I didn't plan breaking that promise anytime soon. I never stopped loving you. My voice catches. Monica opens her eyes and looks deeply into mine. There aren't any words from either of us for a good while. Just the two of us, together, locked in each other's gaze with that lock only momentarily broken by our blinking. The only sound that surrounds us is that of the heavenly breeze that brushes our skin. Monica's lips then slowly curl to form a thoughtful, longing, and above all gentle smile. Aside from the liquid brimming her eyelids, it's the exact same smile that she would give me during some of our more intimate moments. Quite honestly, I've missed that smile just as much as I've missed the girl it belongs to.
I can't remember if I ever asked you this before, but why do you love me as much as you do? Even now.
Taking a deep breath, I think back to everything we've been through. Ultimately, my mind goes back to the very day we got together. There's something that Monica said back then that always kind of stuck with me. You let me be me. The more I think about it, I begin to realize that was also the case with me. I release my grip on Monica's hands, carefully rest them on her cheeks, much to her seeming surprise. I step slightly closer as I gently cup her face in my hands. Monica, before I met you, there was a lot about myself that I didn't really like. Hell, there still is. I'm still awkward. I'm not exactly the most physically fit. Well, honestly, I'm quite bland if you think about it. I give a nervous chuckle before I carry on. After the last school year ended, I kind of thought that'd be the last time we'd ever speak. Then I joined the club and we started talking again. In a way, it was like no time had passed. She smiles earnestly. With you, it felt like I could be myself. You didn't judge me for anything.
I love you for you, Hallie. That's always been the case. And it's still the case now.
She then tightly wraps her arms around me, causing me to quickly retract my hands. Quickly adjusting myself, I return her embrace. I lose track of how long we stay like this. Once more, it's just us and the breeze. Again, it's felt like ages since I've been able to do this. I speak in a soft, almost whispery tone. I wish I could stay. Upon hearing that, Monica sighs regretfully.
I know you do, Hallie. But you can't. It'd be selfish for me to keep you here. Besides, you've still got people down there that care about you.
My gaze momentarily diverts from hers. But what about you? Monica unwraps her arms from around me and moves her hands to my cheeks.
I'll just be watching over you from up here. And I promise you, when your time comes, I'll be right here waiting for you.
My eyes meet Monica's once more. You mean that? Monica pulls my face closer to hers. She then speaks gently.
I swear to you, we will see each other again.
She gently pulls my face as close as it can get to hers and passionately presses her lips against mine. As I settle into the kiss, my body starts to feel lighter. A sensation I can only describe as electrical surges through my body. To accompany that, an overwhelming feeling of bliss enraptures both of us. It's peace, it's bliss, and at the same time the feeling provides me a sense of hope. Hope that I will be able to carry on. Hope that I will be able to recover. I know that there's always going to be a part of me that longs for what I could have been, and times where I wish I was still with me, or she was still with me. If I can't live the rest of my life with Monica, then I'll live my life for her. Minutes pass by, and as they do, I start to feel another sensation. It almost feels like I'm drifting away. I start to become weightless. Eventually, I'll lose my hold on Monica, and her fingers slip from my cheeks. It soon gets to a point where I'm surrounded by nothing but thick clouds. The only noises that I can hear are slowly approaching, modulated beeps. The beeps gradually become clearer and clearer until eventually I wake up. When my eyes open, everything is initially quite blurry. My surroundings quickly become more visible. It doesn't take me too long to realize where I am. I groggily look down towards both my chest and wounded arm. As I should have guessed from my location, I have an array of cables and tubes protruding from my body. 1,000 thoughts run into my mind in regards to what the doctors may have done to me whilst I was out. I shouldn't really dwell on it too much, though. The important thing is that I'm still here. I then turn to my right. There, in a rather uncomfortable-looking chair next to my bed, sits Sayori. Well, less sitting down, she's pretty much asleep. At least I think so. Regardless, I can't exactly blame her. God knows how long she'd been awake. I whisper to myself, using Sayori's internal muse. I'm sorry I put you through hell. I'm more than certain I'll have plenty of time to apologize. I look away from Sayori and towards the small glass pane on the door. Every minute or two I can see people walking past the door. It seems quite busy out there, but I can't exactly be too certain. My attention is then brought back to Sayori as she lets out a loud, albeit soft yawn. She stretches before opening her eyes and looking towards me. When her eyes meet mine, we simply stare at each other. She has a look on her face that I can't really make out. Is it surprise? Is it relief? I'm not entirely sure. As soon as that mild feeling of uncertainty starts to settle, a soft smile starts to form across Sayori's lips. It's a very relieved-looking smile. She gets up from her chair and starts walking towards me. She then speaks in a soft yet very audible whisper.
You're finally awake.
She's soon standing right by my bedside, her eyes underlined by tears. I can't help but crack a smile in return. You know, I'd hug you if it wasn't for all these cables. My voice sounds like my throat had been rubbed with sandpaper.
I know, Hallie. I do too.
Sayori falls silent as she seemingly contemplates.
You're lucky to be alive, you know. The doctor said you'd cut pretty deep.
Definitely felt like it. I know. Sayori looks off to the side and sighs gently. She then looks back to me, uncertain of what to say. As always, I can't tell what she's thinking. There's more silence between us. Could she be waiting for me to say something? Whether she is or not, I think she's owed an explanation for what happened. I did bring her into it after all. I think I should explain myself. Sayori remains silent. I'm not even sure if I'm going about this the right way. Out of the blue, a smile finds its way onto Sayori's lips as she squeezes my shoulder.
It's okay, Hallie. You don't need to say anything.
I look her in the eye in disbelief. That look quickly dissipates as Sayori's arms lower until she's gently squeezing my hand in her own.
No matter how long it takes, we'll get you the help you need. I know it's not going to be easy. I know that too well. But no matter how long it takes, I'm not going to give you up or give up on you. I promise you that.
Her sky blue eyes glisten with tears, still smiling gently. I smile back whilst my own tears start to form. Again, I want so desperately to embrace her. I internally damn the cables that are practically holding me hostage, and then damn myself for being the reason I'm here. I squeeze Sayori's hand in return. Just from that look in her eyes, I can tell that she understands. She might not understand everything about what I'm going through, but in a way she knows what I'm going through. I can't keep her there, though. Or here, though. You should probably get going. Could have worded that better.
Wouldn't it be better for you if I stayed here for a little bit longer?
Sayori, I'll be safe here. There'll probably be a nurse in to check up on me in a bit. Besides, you look bloody knackered. I know I certainly didn't help with that in the slightest. Also, I've got some stuff I want to think about.
It's okay, Hallie. I understand. I can always visit later.
Please do. Oh wait, was that her?
So I guess I'll see you later then. Maybe tomorrow?
I nod. Yeah, tomorrow should be good. As Sayori goes to leave, a thought crosses my mind. Through my slightly strained voice, I call out to her.
Hey, Sayori.
If it's not too much to ask, could you let my mom know about what happened?
Hallie, she already knows. The hospital asked if you had any relatives they could contact. I gave them your mom's number and...
Thank you.
You don't need to thank me.
After once more smile between us, Sayori leaves. Once again, I'm alone. I lay back on the bed. To no surprise, it's far from the comfiest thing in the world. But for now, at least it will have to do. Whilst I'm laying here and staring at the ceiling, I think back to before I woke up. Back to my conversation with Monica. Even though I know it wasn't real. Well, not real in the traditional sense, but it felt real. However, one thing that sticks out to me is one of the thoughts I had before everything faded away. I'll live life for her. As I remember this, another smile forms across my lips. I internally promise myself that I will carry on. It's not going to be easy in the slightest, but I've got people here for me. I can't let them down again. I will live on. I just need to take things one day at a time. Six months later.
How much more is there to go?
As my alarm blares, I groggily open my eyes. I sit up, stretch my arms, and yawn loudly as I turn off the damned noise. I then check my phone. 7:30 a.m. Pulling my sheets off, I get up from my bed and head straight for the bathroom. I step towards the mirror and stop to look at my face. Before I shower, I should probably shave. Gotta look presentable for the girls. I grab the electric razor from the drawer and get to work. It doesn't take me too long to finish up. After brushing off any remaining hairs, I get undressed and get ready to shower. As soon as the water has warmed up to my preferred temperature, I step in. Whilst the water soaks my skin, I think long and hard about today. It's a Saturday. In particular, it's the 20th of January, my 19th birthday. If you were to go back to 6 months ago and tell me I would make it to 19, I probably would have called your bluff. But in retrospect, I'm glad I carried on in spite of everything. There were times where it was difficult, and God only knows where there will be many more times like that. But I'm still here, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Eventually, I stop the water and step out. After grabbing a towel, drying myself, and wrapping it around my waist, I head back to my room. Upon heading back to my room, I start to walk towards the closet. Sayori said that she was planning something special for me today with Natsuki and Yuri. Natsuki did seem pretty busy last night, so that checks out. That being said, I shouldn't really need to dress too fancy. I pull open the door and pull out a black shirt and some blue jeans. Is it generic? Obviously yes. But to some degree, I wouldn't have it any other way. After I pull all my clothes on and make sure my hair is presentable enough, I head downstairs. When I get downstairs, my ears pick up the faint yet ever-distinct rustling of plastic carrier bags. Seems like someone's awake. Morning, Nat. It's still kinda weird that Natsuki's actually living here, but I suppose that after 3 months you kinda get used to it.
Morning!
Energetic as ever. Although the can of store brand energy drink on the counter might be the reason for her energy at this time. Speaking of which, how long have you been up? You're never up this early on weekends. She scowls slightly. Oh, well, here comes yet another comment about my snoring.
I mean, I think since 6:30. Like, I sorted out most of the food last night. All I had to do was pack everything and just finish a couple extra little bits.
She certainly works fast.
I mean, your snoring didn't help either. But that's a given.
I roll my eyes with a smirk as Natsuki gives a cheeky giggle. Saw it coming from a mile away, but I'll let her have this one. Given what Sayori mentioned, coupled with all the food that Natsuki has seemingly made, it doesn't take me too long to put 2 and 2 together. So I'm guessing we're having a picnic.
Yup. Now I know what you're thinking. Ugh, it's the middle of January, Nat. I'm gonna be freezing my nuts off.
At least Sayori's impression of me doesn't sound as nasally as Natsuki's. Not to mention it actually sounds like me.
But it's meant to pretty nice today. Plus, come on, it's your birthday.
I grin at her like a damn idiot. She doesn't seem to mind, though. You want me to help pack or anything?
Nah, you're good. Besides, with your history of packing bags, I'd rather not, just to be on the safe side, you know.
I sigh despite her having a fair point. I was never the best at packing. After I make myself a quick cup of coffee, I head to the living room. To pass the time, I end up channel surfing for a good while. Unsurprisingly, there doesn't seem to be much on at this time. I eventually just end up settling on a channel showing nothing but game shows. The one currently on reeks of the late 80s. Though who am I to call something out as being cheesy? It isn't inherently a bad thing, but still. A few minutes pass before Natsuki joins me in the room. Her eyes end up fixated on the plasma screen. Whether it's a show she's seen before, or she's merely confused as to what the hell I'm watching seems to be undecided. The seeming almost silence is then broken by both a small vibration and a chirp-like tone coming from Natsuki's phone. Not being a particularly nosy person, I don't ask who it is. However, she then taps my shoulder.
It's Sayori. She's just going up to Yuri's, so she shouldn't be too long.
Given that I've never been over to Yuri's, I wouldn't have an exact idea as to how long Sayori will actually be. More time passes. Eventually, there's a trio of quick knocks at the door. I go to get up and answer it, but Natsuki bolts up from her seat and heads to do so instead. Yawning softly, I return my focus to the TV. It doesn't take me long to hear footsteps approaching the living room. I spot Sayori out of the corner of my eye and stand up, ready to greet her. With an excited smile on her face, she practically flies towards me and almost knocks me off my feet as she embraces me with a vice-like grip. Ah!
There's the birthday boy!
Morning, Sayo. I always forget how strong Sayori can be sometimes. As Sayori keeps squeezing me, I then hear a gentle giggle from across the room.
Calm down, Sayori. I'm sure Hallie's happy to see you too.
Sayori releases me, allowing me to breathe once again.
Sorry, Hallie. I guess I kinda got carried away there.
Don't worry, you're good. Air soon finds the way back into my lungs. Sayori flashes me a quick smile before being beckoned to the kitchen by Natsuki. Once Sayori's gone, only me and Yuri remain in the living room. It's been a little while since we've been alone together. Whilst we stood there, Yuri averts her gaze and smiles, looking off to the side a little. Hey, been a while, hasn't it? My voice is more of a soft whisper, but a whisper I know that she can hear.
It has been, yes.
Yuri's voice is just as soft. How have you been? Like, how's your first semester been?
First semester's been alright. I'll admit I did struggle at first, as many of the courses' reading list was much more complex than what I have read in the past. That doesn't seem likely, but okay. But hey, I did opt for a psychology major.
She then pauses for a brief moment before smiling sheepishly.
Besides that, I've been doing better. I've had a lot more time to myself since I moved out. More time to think about how I am as a person. I know I've not been the easiest person. I am working to better myself, though.
I'm happy to hear that. Like, really, I am. Her eyes flick back to meet mine, and a small, admittedly adorable smile forms across her lips.
Promise?
I promise. Yuri smiles to herself, her cheeks being overcome with a slowly growing blush. I then hear footsteps coming towards the living room, this time accompanied by the sound of rustling plastic bags.
All right, everyone ready to go?
There's a less than subtle tinge of excitement to Natsuki's voice. Not that I can exactly blame her, though.
I am!
Sayori beams in classic Sayori fashion.
I'd like to head off, too.
Yuri's demeanor reverts to a more calm and collected one. That just leaves me. As happy as I am seeing everyone here together in what feels like forever, my mind still reminds me that the sight in front of me shall always remain incomplete. It's just there, staring me right in the face, almost like a jigsaw puzzle laying on a table with a single piece missing. And what's that piece for me? That's simple. It's Monica. I always pictured her being there with me. Hell, I still do most days. Still do too most days. Whilst I have been slowly getting better, the memory of what happened still lingers within me. Sometimes it's like an itch that can't be scratched, but an itch I can cast away to the back of my mind. But other times it just dominates my day. Before the memories can once again cement themselves in my mind, Natsuki approaches me and rests a hand on my shoulder.
Hallie? You doing okay?
Natsuki's soft tone pulls me back to reality. I then look back to her and my two other friends. All three of them wear rather awkward expressions as if they're wondering if they should say something. I quickly relieve their potential worries. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's get going. I'm sure that totally assuaged their concerns. The four of us then leave the house on a rather somber note.